Hey writers, we've been writing 2-point responses to a narrative nonfiction article in the past few days. In doing this, we've constructed claims and we've supported those claims with 2 pieces of evidence from the text. Now today, I want to teach you that writers can use their nonfiction reading skill that we've been talking about, of having an inner conversation to think through questions and determine the best answers. So let's take a look at our first question. How do paragraphs 13 and 20 contribute to the development of Coach Motivates Her Girls both on and off the court? Well, first let's take a look at paragraphs 13 and 20. Paragraph 13 says, "She's the first coach who really taught me the game of basketball," says Pondexter, whom Gators first saw play in a YMCA recreational league and then helped hone her talent. "I credit it all to her, my humble beginnings." Paragraph 20 says, "I wasn't a troubled kid. My problem was focusing on basketball so much," Pondexter says, remembering how Gators would call her mother if Pondexter skipped class. In her case, the punishment would be to lose gym time. So let me reread the question. How do paragraphs 13 and 20 contribute to the development of Coach Motivates Her Girls both on and off the court? So let me have a little conversation in my head. So first I think to myself, what does contribute to the development even mean? Well, I know the word contribute means to add to or to explain in greater detail. The word development means, to me, how the article progresses to add information and thinking. So how does the author arrange information to make it more convincing and more understandable? Okay, so I've had an inner conversation about what this question means. I've looked at the text a little bit. So now I need to know how these 2 paragraphs add to this story progressing, continue to the development. How does it progress our information about Coach Gators? So let me head over to my 2-point response paper. So I want to start with a claim. What I'd like to do, since this is asking me a question, I'd like to restate that question to begin my claim. So how do paragraphs 13 and 20 contribute to the development? I'm going to just rephrase that. So paragraphs 13 and 20 contribute to the development of Coach Motivates Her Girls both on and off the court. So that's something I can do right away, even if I don't have an answer yet, because I've restated my question to begin a topic statement. So I know that both paragraphs here, there are 2 different sides of Coach Gators, how she's on the court and how she's off the court, because we know that she was super tough on them on the court. So she was really teaching them all of the specifics and the skills that they needed on the court, and we know she kind of had some tough love. But down here it talks about off the court and how she's constantly going above and beyond to help her players kind of progress in life, help them become better people. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit in my response. So both paragraphs show the 2 different sides of Coach Gators. So for example, in the first one, that was on the court. So for example, Gators helps her players, I'm going to say, sharpen their skills on the court in paragraph 13. and then we can talk about the second one. In paragraph 20, we see her talking about school. So she's going above and beyond to really enforce with her players that school is first. School is number one. So that's something off the court. So in paragraph 20, we see Gators pushing the importance of school to her players. So that's how each paragraph helps progress the story. It contributes to the development, adds to the movement of the story as it's continuing to go forward. So writers, if you notice that whole time throughout that process, as I was reading the paragraphs, as I was reading the question, as I was answering the question, going through evidence, I was talking to myself. I was having an inner conversation. So today and every day, you can use this strategy of having an inner conversation to think through a 2-point response question. So now it's your turn to practice what you've learned today. What you will be doing is going into your practice article that you've been using for reading and for writing, and you're going to be having an inner conversation with yourself to write a 2-point response question for session 3. Happy writing.